Oh, yes. You're once again welcome to Heroic Universal Concept International. Okay, this Heroic Online Computer Institute. I'm about to start editing one of my students' project, front end web development project. He's actually a talented student. I can see he just started and he's doing so well. Okay, even though there are lots of corrections to be made, they're so far so good. Shows that with what he put in here, it shows that he will do well. So let me talk to you, my student, Nzube by name. Yeah, Nzube. Your job is good, but I think I've really made that these corrections before. I've made it, and I believe you've taken correction. That when I give a front end project, do exactly what I did. Don't start coding your own website because you just coded your own business website right here. Okay. Let me first of all start with your folder, your website folder. Okay, let me start with your website folder. When it goes to here, this is your folder. Now, the first mistake I saw here is Java. When you type in Java here, I know you meant JavaScript. But bear in mind that Java is a different language altogether. Java and JavaScript are not the same thing. You understand me? So under such, you type in Java here might confuse other person. You might understand it, but other person might not. So it's either you type in JavaScript here or you type in JS. But I don't have to change it because if I change it here and I have to go and start changing it from your header section and even anywhere you linked it, okay? So I don't want to change it, but change it by yourself. Put JS in short, JS, okay? That's JavaScript, or you put JavaScript in full. You understand me? So that is the first mistake I just saw here. Okay, that said, now let's quickly move on to the program. Let's start from the header here. Another observation I made is when you point on this, I know you just maybe you like it, the effect you give to it. When you hover on the navigation bar, it will change to white. For me, and when it changed to white, when it changes to white, your logo will just be like this. Let me explain what happens here. This is your logo. You see that your logo is not touching. This is the end of this line. This is the end of this navigation. This is where it ends. But your logo hanged up here. Okay, if you want to use white background when you hover, what you have to do is that you have to bring this logo, maybe bring it, you try to put margin here, from here to somewhere here. I always like 50 pixel margin. From here to here will give you 50 pixels. Okay, from here to somewhere here will give you 50 pixel. Then your logo will now commence, will start from here to here. Then this logo, you try to give it maybe a rounded border, something like that. Then it will not flush at the end. It will not get to this end. It will have margin. The margin will make it center. I mean, be at the center somehow from here to this place. Okay, so you'll be seeing white here. You'll be seeing white all around it. Then if you want to give it a rounded corner, it will also make sense. Give it a little, just not so much, but a little rounded corner. But let the logo center a little bit this way. You get me? Let it not extend to the end of this. But if you leave it black, it makes more sense. For me, if I'm the one coding this website, I will not put this effect of hovering and changing to white. I will just leave it black, the way it is right now. Okay? But I'm not saying that this one is not good, but black would have been better if you leave it this way. That is number one correction. Number two is this. This navigation seems to be too the height of this navigation seems to be too much. Do you get me? So what I think you have to do, if you give it height, like you give it normal height, like you put height, I don't want to go to the CSS, okay? But let me just explain to you. If you give it a height, you remove that height. Don't give it any height. What you have to do is that just give padding to logo. If you give padding, little padding to logo, then you give margin here. logo will automatically expand the height. Okay, then, and that's what you need. Just give padding to logo. Don't give height to this your navigation bar. Okay, so once you do it, you are cool. Do you get me? Good. So it will not be too. You see that because you give it height, the height it must always reach here, even though the logo height didn't get to this point. You get me? So remove the height, put margin to logo if you want. Okay, but if you want it to be black this way, the way it is now, do not give any margin to logo. Just remove height, then leave it. Then you know that this will end here. This navigation bar will end here. Will be the same height with the logo. Don't give margin to logo if you want it to be black. But you don't give margin to the to every side of the logo. Give margin to only one side, please. When I say don't give margin, what I'm actually talking about so much is the margin for top and bottom. Don't give margin for top and bottom to the logo. If you want to leave it all black like this, don't give top and bottom, because you know why? Because this logo, the picture already has margin from here to here, from here to here. It's already a margin, so giving it another margin might not make sense. So don't give it extra margin if you want it to be black. The only margin you might consider giving to it, the one for the right and the left, and the right. Just give it a little margin for the right, so that this will not touch it. Then give it margin, good margin, maybe about 50%, 50 pixel margin for the left. Okay, or let's say because it has little margin already, let it not be up to 50. Maybe from here to here it's already, let's say, 10 pixels or 20 pixels. So you can give it like 50, like a 40, 35 pixel. So it will shift inward. Okay, but I would prefer you leave it black like this. Don't the hover here. I don't necessarily subscribe to it. That's number one. Then two. I can see that you are kind of a stylish person. You like to put lots of styles to your dome. It makes sense. It makes sense. It's okay. It's okay. Like this, when you hover, you see a rounded circle on it. It's still not bad. That's okay. Okay, but the color you put to it, blue color. You know, whenever you want to design a website, you have to map out the color you want to use. You don't have to use all the colors that comes to your mind. Map out colors that are going to work for you. Okay, so that you don't have to be tempted to use every color you see. Okay, so and I think the color you're using here is black and the orange. That's the dominant color here. So maybe this rounded corner would have been orange. This blue color you added to it would have been orange. You understand? So that you maintain that the color space you are using. You don't have to begin to employ so many colors to your design. You understand? So that's it. I think that settles it. Then let's come down to the first pictures you have here. First picture you have here. You see this picture? You know, when you get picture from the internet, sometimes some pictures are not for free. Whenever I see picture that has watermark like this, you know, these are watermark. All this watermark. Whenever you see pictures with this, don't use it. It shows that this picture is not for free on the internet. That if you want to use it, that you have to buy it. If you must use it, so you have to go to the website and pay for it and have it. Otherwise, look for picture that doesn't have watermark. Okay, and use. Do you understand me? It's important. Then on the text that is on top of the picture, you see that this text, especially this one, they are supposed to be more visible than they are. You know, because it's white. The color, the background of your picture is white, almost white. You understand? And the text you're putting on it, it's also, especially this one, is also bright. It's not a darker text, so it will not make this text very readable. So you have to look for what you have to do is to put an overlay. But I mean, I don't know if you've gotten to this level, putting overlay, darker overlay that will darken this background. and this image, so that this text will come up. I don't know if you've gotten there. That is actually why I would have loved that you code my website exactly the way it is, the one I coded as a sample. That you do that first before doing this, and I think you have to still do it. Now, after making corrections to this your website, go back to that. Go back to my front end web development. Do exactly what I did there. Exactly. I want to test your ability to replicate what I did. I want to test your ability to replicate it. Okay. So that's it. Let me quickly, I just want to rush this. Let me quickly go move down. Then coming to your button, I think one observation I made in this button is that it needs to be increased. The font of the button should be increased. To increase the font a bit. I don't know this font. It seems to be 12 points. If it's 12 point, make it 16. Make it 16. If it's 12 point, make it 16. Okay. Then you might also consider. I don't know if you know that you can also remove outline. You can also you can say border. You can remove border to your button if you want to. This is a border, though it makes it look nice anyway, but you can remove it. So in case if you're not aware, like if you look so many professional websites, you're not going to see border at the button. Do you get me? So you can just say border, then none, so that you remove. Just type in border none. It will be removed. Okay, then you put normal shadow to it. Okay, so the same thing with this button. You see it has border, though the border makes it look nice, so you can still leave it. It's not bad, it's not looking bad. Okay, but increase the font. But I just want to inform you that you can remove the border if you want to. Okay, and add shadow if you want to add shadow. You understand me? Then one more thing, please. So you also see this background you added. One observation I made here is that this background you added, you didn't add. When you go to background, you just say you didn't add background repeat. No repeat. When you use background image in your CSS, you have to consider whether you want it to be repeating or whether you want just one full background to cover the whole page. Okay, so you have to go to background repeat, then you put let me just see if okay, I don't have internet right now. Okay, so you have to go to background repeat, then you put no repeat. Okay, let me quickly open my website and show you what I mean. Show you what I mean to my website quickly. All right. There are so many websites here. Okay, I've already opened my website. I think, can this one give me what I want? Let me open Academy CSS. Alright, I think the first one will give me what I want. Now, this is what I'm talking about. So you see, when you come to add background image, when you add background image to your, just like I added the image, do you see the image here? Okay, the link to the image. Then after doing that, you have to come here, put background position center, background repeat, no repeat. That is what I'm talking about. So that your background will not repeat. It will just be one background. Then background size cover. You make it to cover the whole page. That particular one background will cover the entire page. The entire section you want it to cover. Okay? Then if you put background attachment fixed, you know what it will do? That background will stay there. Even when you're scrolling, it will not scroll with you. It will stay there. Maybe we'll get there when we continue to work together. Okay? So that's, by the way, that's what I want to show you here. Okay? So to avoid this repetition of backgrounds, use background repeat, no repeat. Then use background all this background stuff, okay, like background repeat, no repeat, background size cover, background attachment fixed. Okay, and the background, then you put background image and all the rest of them. You understand? So having said that, I think we are getting there. Then one more thing is that this background makes the text and everything busy. Okay, so one area you also have to work on is your graphic, is your ability to design a nice graphic design. You know, when you are good with graphic design, you do well also when at the front end, web development. You have to work on making your design less busy. This is busy. You know, all this, the way this thing is now, it makes it busy and it makes this less readable. Okay, so the way you are going to make it less busy is to add overlay again, dark overlay. Once you add dark overlay at the background, or you can also use background color like the one. Let me show you the one I use. You can also use it to do that. You can say radial gradient, stuff like this. Then you add this color, you add another color to it. This will darken the background. Okay, then it will darken the image to make the image dark. Let's use the darker background. This one is the RGB color, RGB. Okay, of the color. If you want to get RGB, just go to paintbrush. You go to paint, and you get RGB from paint. I believe you know. Let me right click on an image now and open it with paint and show you what I mean. This open with paint. This is paint. And when it opens now, if I click on edit colors now, we'll see all the if I click on any of the color here, do you see the RGB red, green, blue 000? Okay, this one is black. When I click on any of this now, do you see RGB components? And when I click on green, see the RGB component. Whichever color I click on, so you can just click on any color you want. Let's say you want to use darker red. You cannot drag it dark until you get the dark you want. Now this is the RGB component of this color you just got. They can now use it here, like I just did mine. Okay, can now use it. But this one is dark, like black color. The last option here is opacity. Like you want it to be a little bit transparent. They use it, you put opacity level, so that overlay that will cover it. Then you put opacity to it, so it will be this coil or whatever you call it. It will be visible, to be a bit visible, not extremely visible like it is now, so that the text on top of it will show well. You understand me? So that's it. So same, I've talked about the color, the picture. You see that this picture has watermark also, and again placing light text on top of light background. No, you have to make this dark, or you make the background dark. Okay, it's same with these ones. You put transparency on this, I believe. Yeah, you put transparency. You shouldn't put transparency on text, on a container that contains text. If you do that, that text will also be transparent. If you put transparent to a parent element, it will affect the child. Do you understand me? So if you want to put transparent, there are other ways to do it. By the time you keep following my tutorials and you begin to see all the projects I've done, which I will begin to show you guys, you get a point where you understand all this much better. Okay, so that said, this one also has the same problem on background repeat. Okay, all right, so you actually use lots of backgrounds, lots of background image here, because maybe you're trying to make your work look nice, but then don't lose so much background image in your website. Go to Google and visit Google website. Do you see much of background image there? Visit other professional websites. You see how plain and nice it looks. Do you understand? So make it plain, make it nice, so that then consider this idea of using darker text on a lighter background and the lighter text on a darker background. Okay, like you made the same mistake here. You see this is light text and you are using it on the light background. Okay, one more observation, very important observation I made here is the margin. I think to make margin easy for you, because you didn't actually consider margin at all in your code. Okay, to make margin easier for you, maybe when you start coding, you first of all create one container that every other code, every other element will be inside. Okay, just create one container, then put other element inside it. Then that one container, you give it let's say 50% margin for all, for top, left, for bottom, top, left, and right. Give it just type in margin 50%. If no, not 50%, margin 50 pixel. Okay, so that it will give it equal 50 pixel for every element you're going to enter. Okay, so that you won't struggle with this margin issue, because there's a margin situation. You have serious issue on the margin. You didn't maintain the margin. Do you see? You need to work on the margin seriously. Okay, so take your time to work on this. Then look at this again. You're also going to consider this button, increase the text. Then you didn't add left and right padding to this button. You have to do that. And if you want to give this button rounded corner like you did, don't allow it to touch this text container. You see, this one doesn't even have border, padding. Also there should be padding. You should put padding top and bottom. If you added height to this, remove height. Don't add any height. Don't add any height to any of these. What you have to do is put padding. Maybe you put padding 10 pixel. Okay, 10 pixel padding for this. Then you give it let's say font size 16 font size, 16 font or 18 point size. Okay, for the font size. Do the same thing to this. Okay, 10 pixel. Okay, you might even say top, maybe top and bottom will be 10 pixel, left and right will be maybe 15 or 20 pixel. Okay, so that the text will actually start from here instead of starting from the edge. No, it's starting from edge is abnormal. There must be a space before the text will start. You understand me? So also this one, you have to put padding around it. Padding 10 pixel padding, or 10 by maybe top and bottom 10, left and right 15 or 20. You understand me? Then make a space. If you want this button to be independent, make a space. Give it margin, make a space. Left, maybe margin right, margin left, so that this will not be touching this. Okay, it doesn't look professional the way they are touching now. It doesn't look professional. But if you want both to be touching, what we're going to do is that you can just give rounded corner here, but don't give rounded corner here. Remove rounded corner from here and here. Then remove rounded corner from here and here as well. Then give rounded corner here, so that it will curve like this. Curve this way, curve this way, then curve this way, curve this way. Then they will now meet at this point. Then to make it look more professional. Okay, maybe let me show you my this thing, my website e-commerce quickly, so that I will show you the button, what I mean at the button there. Yeah, e-commerce, yeah. My e-commerce, is that okay? Yeah, e-commerce. Yeah, so you see my e-commerce now. You see that there's a button here, and there's the controller. That's the where you type in the text. That's the text input. Okay, here you see how they meet. You have a curve here, you have a curve here, you have a curve here, you have a curve, and they meet. They join here. You understand me? If I connect to the internet, you see, you begin to see the font awesome I entered here, as in the search icon. Okay, let me see if I can connect to the internet and show you. I think this video is long. I will stop it and start another to finish up the corrections.